Personal brand is the one way that you're going to be able to be an outlier and actually stand out to the market and buying from you because they like you as a person and they want to work with you. They're not just buying necessarily all because of value. So I was just like digging holes and like pouring cement and just doing the worst possible jobs. I think I was making like $400 a week. We just had no idea what we were doing, but we just brute forced our way somehow to 30K a month back then. Because there was months where I was spending like 40, 50K in Europe with a filmmaker on just traveling, like getting Airbnbs, buying dinners, just literally everything. Like I was saying, we have a guy that does Pokemon card trading. No one would know who he is. Private account, and he makes like 900K a month just from trading Pokemon cards, and he's like 21. Just building my personal brand in general changed pretty much everything for me. Like so many doorways started opening. So many people that I would have never thought would just watch my content and come up to me and be like, yo, I've been seeing your content, and reaching out to people, messaging them on Instagram. They'd always reply and maybe even follow me. And then it was like, okay, I got to keep traveling. I got to keep making content. I got to keep growing the brand. At the time, it was just like, I had the business. I was working with a couple entrepreneurs, helping them with creative directing. So I wasn't directly monetizing from my personal brand to start with, but I was like, I know that there's something here. I've just got to keep building it, and started traveling. Then I started traveling with other entrepreneurs, meeting people all around the world, posting content and filming content. And I was like, fuck, if I brought this to another entrepreneur that was running a business and they got to do the same thing, like it would just help them make more money.
100%. Okay, and then since now, what's all the main kind of people you're attracting with your content? Is it entrepreneurs, business owners?
Yeah, I would say it's mainly entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say anyone that isn't an entrepreneur really aligns too much with my content. Some stuff, I would say YouTube is a bit more broad, and I'm looking to kind of niche it down a bit more because it is kind of getting a bit more aspirational people and people maybe more looking into entrepreneurship. And I would probably prefer to have just mainly like entrepreneurs, founders following my content. But on Instagram, yeah, it's mainly just entrepreneurs that watch my content and can relate with it.
And is it something that you're building yourself? So are you specifically tailoring your content for that audience? Is anything in particular you do?
Yeah. I like just use the word entrepreneur a lot.
Yeah.
But also I subconsciously do it because I'm an entrepreneur and I enjoy certain things, and this is the type of content I like making. And obviously other entrepreneurs are going to enjoy that and relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have to go out of my way too much. I just make content that I enjoy, which a lot of other entrepreneurs tend to enjoy, is like that type of content, whether it's cinematic shots of you like working, meeting other entrepreneurs, stuff like that.
And would you say you got your own, or the style is influenced by anyone in particular?
At the beginning, it was because I consumed a lot. Like I used to be a big consumer and just watch a lot of content. Big names like Daniel Dalen, Mr. 48. Like I used to see all these guys' content, and they like inspired me to be like, okay, you need to start documenting your journey, start posting your content. But I remember when I got the filmmaker out, I was like sending him like Daniel Dalen reels and stuff. I was like, oh, make this. And he's like, no. I was like, what do you mean? No, like I just paid for you to be. He's like, we're not going to copy anyone else. Like you're going to do your own style. You're going to build your own brand. And people are going to copy your content, but you're not going to basically copy these other guys. So it came to the point we'd like butt heads for like a week because I was like, I want this style. And he's like, no. And then eventually I was like, you just do it. Like, I'm just going to let you do it. And then eventually, we found my own style and people started following along, and that's when it all kind of took off.
And you notice people now copying you?
Yeah.
No, that's sick. And now after that, what's sort of the longer term plans for Only Earned and yourself?
I think it's hard because if I was to look back a year ago when I first left Australia, I probably wouldn't have thought like I'd be doing what I'm doing now. It's so much has changed. We only launched Only Earned in September last year. So it hasn't even been a year yet. So it's hard to really see the long-term vision, but I do know that a lot of people run like coaching offers, for like cash grabs and like making a lot of money in the short term. Only Earned's definitely something where I'm thinking really long-term and actually building a proper company, building enterprise value, just building the brand name and it be like a world recognized brand rather than just kind of doing it for cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my mission at the moment is to just essentially build the biggest network for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty cool statement, man. And okay, so since we then were speaking about this actually at the event last week, and then you started speaking about how you're doing content regarding with AI and then how you're tweaking it to only appeal to entrepreneurs and getting people to come into Only Earned. What's sort of the strategy around AI, your content? What do you really see it heading in? Do you see it being valuable?
100%. I think there's a level of I just feel like with content, AI can't take over everything just because of, like we're talking about before, authenticity, building, people buying into the person. I feel like there will be a wall where AI just, it can compete, it can create content, but people won't resonate as much. People won't be able to connect with the content as much, and it won't have the same effect. Yeah. But for me right now with content, it would mainly just be really understanding what content you need to be making, because you can't really like argue with AI. Like it just tells you the facts and you're like, fuck, it's right. Yeah. You know, so inputting all of our current people that follow me, everyone that interacts with my content, everyone that has joined Only Earned, why they joined, what piece of content did they watch before they joined, all these little things, and getting all this data and just putting it into AI and being like, okay, this is the type of content that other entrepreneurs usually making 50K a month or more enjoy. How can I make more of this? How can I give more value to these people, rather than just kind of doing what I think is working and doing what I think they'll like? It's just like really seeing the facts.
Yeah. And then do you script it out? Do you say, okay, we need these kinds of shots, we need these kinds of, we need to travel here and speak about this? Or is it then how do we tailoring what you're just already filming to that?
As for the shots and like what I should be filming, it's usually I don't like try to get too much inspiration, and I just try to like, I don't overthink it. I used to overthink the shots a lot and, oh, this needs to be perfect. I just do it. I'm like, this is probably gonna look cool, and it ends up looking cool. And then as for like what I'm talking about, I'll never script like a whole thing and just read it word for word. I'll just put dot points, kind of like for example, if you're speaking on a podcast, and I'll just say it off the top of my head rather than like script it all out before and then just read the script, because I just, again, it feels unauthentic to me, and I would prefer to just, even if I'm not delivering as much value as I really want to, I'd way rather just say it off the top of my head and just have like a point that I'm speaking about.
Yeah, but then that goes back what we were speaking about earlier, like you just be truly authentic, and now that's how you connect with everyone, by displaying what's actually on the top of your mind. Literally, not what's planned by some AI chatbot.
Yeah. So it's the only way people I mean, it's just, there's so many people posting content, there's so many people running really good businesses and giving so much value. It's like you just can't compete on the value level. Like, of course you want to give value in your content, but your personal brand is the one way that you're going to be able to just be an outlier and actually stand out to the market. And most people nowadays, I wouldn't say, unless you're like one of the top guys like Hormozi, like, yes, they're probably buying him for value, but a lot of people in our level is like, they're buying from you because they like you as a person and they want to work with you. They're not just buying necessarily all because of value.
And what do you see the difference between educational content and then personal brand content? Is there a line where like you're talking about talking head videos, presenting a screen or a whiteboard for educational videos, and then the personal brand stuff like the day in the life or documenting the journey? Do you seeing it being separate? Do you combine it into one? What do you see there?
No, you definitely need both. I think if I was just to post the day in the life content and never give value and never talk about my story and my journey and like tying that into the value I give from the lessons I've learned, then people would just be like, oh, this guy's cool, he makes cool content, and like that's it. He's got cool colors, and like that's pretty much it. And so I never want to I don't want people to like me and follow me because I have cool content and it looks cool. Like I want people to actually resonate with what I say and want to follow along, and that's where you stand out, right? Is like people actually buying into your values, your messages, who you are as a person, rather than just like, oh, this guy has cool color grading, I want to buy his lots. Yeah, so exactly. I'm obviously not selling that.
And then how do you tie it in? Do you tie it into the video, or do you do a separate video for value?
No, I definitely tie in like the creative side of things into the value, and like getting cool shots, making like just the way you film content, filming it in more of like a documentary style rather than, I don't know, like clipping it from a Zoom video or something. So I definitely try to bring the creative side into it. And then also, obviously have like those top of funnel pieces of content where I'm showing my life, the day in the life of the entrepreneur. But I do tie both of them together, but sometimes it's just like top of funnel, and then sometimes it's like creative and actually giving value.
So what are you doing differently now then to, like you mentioned, hit more entrepreneurs? Is there stuff particularly you're changing like in the message of your content to hit more of those people? Or
yeah, 100%. I think it's just being more specific, talking about things that they would relate to rather than
the mass.
Yeah, rather than the mass, or rather than someone that's maybe working back home a 9 to 5 and they're like, they realistically just want to buy the lifestyle. Like that's all they want. Whereas actual entrepreneurs, they're already living that lifestyle. They already have a business, they're already making money. So they connect with different things. So it's more just about what I talk about. And I think the biggest difference so far is entrepreneurs like boring content. Like they like watching those like 1 hour Loom videos on YouTube of like a guy just talking about and just giving straight value. So doing a lot more talking videos, giving more value, but then trying to bring that like cinematic side of things into it.
Mm-hmm.
But now actually, as we were speaking at the event, like personally, I don't watch those kinds of Loom videos anymore because I just plug the transcript into AI, give the link and say, how does it apply to my situation? And then extrapolate like the next steps based on the video.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, I can't plug a day in the life video or like a personal brand video into AI and say, how does it?
Yeah.
But then that's the beauty, because then you get to relate on a personal level. You have to watch that full video, then increasing the touch points with you and then understanding the brand as well. So is that sort of the way, how do you see really content progressing in the future with AI flows like what I said?
Yeah, I don't really know too much about like how integrated AI will be with content. I feel like the actual generating of the image and of the video, I feel like, yes, you can add touches. Like I've used AI before, the teams use AI before to like make the shots cooler or like have this like bird's eye view come down into the shot. But the actual talking, I don't think you'll ever be able to replace a person with AI, because I feel like you can just tell, and then the voice has like the same kind of tone and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not too sure how AI will, I guess, take over, but I do think that just being authentic and the type of content you make is pretty much everything, and is going to be the main pillar in actually creating content.
Well, I don't see AI being like, I don't know, but AI won't be able to replace the content you're making at the moment, because it's not you. And the whole point of the content is it's authentic. It's the lived experiences.
Literally,
how can you get something which hasn't lived experiences to tell the lived experiences? Yeah. So
yeah, I think AI is best used, at least for my case, is understanding how the ICP best thinks and how I can deliver my experiences and my journey to them in the best format, rather than just doing it how I think.
Yeah. And what would you say to then, for example, us in our position at the moment, we're producing a lot of value-based content and we're planning to like dominate with that. What do you see? Do you see it would be beneficial to get into a personal brand, beneficial to document the journey? Is there a specific type or person that you'd say it would benefit, or based on your experience?
I think so. Like if you look at Hormozi, everyone follows Hormozi because he has a lot of value, but then he always talks about his journey and his values and the things he did and his story, building gym launch, and like all these little personal things about him, which get everyone to really buy into his story. And you find he has a lot of diehard fans. So obviously giving value, but you need to talk more about your story. You need to talk about the things that you went through, and it's almost like a free testimonial of you. You can either tell someone to do something, or you can talk about how and reflect on like how you did that thing and how it changed your business, rather than just telling them this is what you do. Yeah.
And then what would you say then to, for example, yourself 1 year ago, that just made the leap from an agency, an actual service-based business, for example, into the personal brand, into the creating content for themselves? What advice would you say to that 1 year ago, Finn?
I would say I was very scared to post content. I remember that's like why I went to Bali, because I was like, okay, no one can really judge me here. Everyone's back home in Australia. They're like 6 hours away. So I can just kind of film and make content and be as creative as I want to be. But also having a filmmaker, because I didn't want to talk on camera. I didn't want to be in public talking on camera. Like I hated it. And then when I flew him out, I was like, well, I've just flown him all the way here and he's whipping out the camera in the middle of a restaurant. I'm not going to tell him to stop filming. Like this is what he's here to do. So it kind of pushed me to do it. And then I realized that content started performing the best because I was being myself, and that fear quickly went away. And also like there's a level of content where you make it and you're watching it back and you're like, you feel uncomfortable. You're like, oh, this is super personal, or I don't know if I want to share this piece of content. Every time I just clicked post, it performs really well.
Yeah.
So it'd be posting that stuff that you like don't really want to put out there because you think other people are going to judge you.
Has there been times where you said it's too personal, it's too much? Or would you say always that performs even better?
I would say that performs even better.
Okay.
But it's also like to what degree, like some people love putting their numbers out there of like how much the business is doing. I personally, I don't know. I don't really like putting numbers out there. I feel like people then really tie you to like a dollar figure. And yeah, I don't know. It just depends on what type of person you are. But I know for coaches, it helps a lot if they're just talking about how much money they're making because it's clear proof. But yeah.
Interesting. And then I that's actually something maybe we could try out, get someone to film, because then otherwise we're still running the businesses. And otherwise, how do we film? Do you make time for content? Is it sort of someone else is taking care of that and you don't have to worry about it? Or is that your main operational task daily?
For me, at the moment, content is like the highest leverage task, especially in my business, because if no one's seeing what we're doing, no one's seeing what we're building, no one's going to reach out. I think for you specifically, getting a filmmaker is super important because he's going to be able to capture all those super authentic moments. For example, our conversation we just had there, they would just be filming that. And you don't have to feel like in all the content, it looks like you just put a tripod up, you clicked record, and then you started talking. It's like they'll just come into a conversation out of nowhere and they'll film it, and then you clip it up, and people almost feel like they're in the group with you and they're a part of that conversation rather than you just like talking directly to camera.
So do you put cameras up and speak to it directly, or is it trying to be like from the shoulder view perspective of someone else? When
I'm vlogging, I'll speak to it directly, but a lot of times I'll give the camera to my friend or my filmmaker and be like, just film if you see any conversations that come up that you think will be good. Just get him to film everything. I know Finn, like he'll be vlogging and then he'll like start having a conversation with me and like just be holding his camera like this. Which I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one. Like you kind of have to ignore the elephant in the room, but it's better when there's a filmmaker there. But it's still a bit weird. Like you know he's filming, like you see it in the corner of your eye that there's someone there filming the conversation, but it's just a lot more authentic.
But it's actually really weird. Like for example, I remember Finn when he was pulling out his camera, you look at the camera and you just speak like a completely different person. Yeah. It's like there's a switch and you're like, oh, hey guys, good to see you. Yeah. And it's really weird to speak to a camera knowing that you're not speaking to anyone. It's just like a piece of glass.
Yeah.
And then I completely see it. And then if you're just speaking to a camera person who's an actual person and they're happening to record it at the same time.
Yeah.
Then it could be, yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to be entertaining as well. Like, whenever I'm talking to the camera, you can't just be like boring and normal. Like, you have to not put it on, but just have more energy in your content. Because if you're just like talking like a normal person, people aren't going to want to watch it. So you do have to. I'll never be fake, but I do have to put a little bit more energy into the content when I'm vlogging or when I'm filming, just to make sure it's like, oh, this guy's actually excited to be filming content right now. He's not just like whipped out the camera and started filming.
Do you find there's a difference between the traveling kind of content and then just the daily boring tasks of just working daily, or and then the crazy trips to Europe, for example? Is there a different way the content performs, or do they still like to see the authentic or just the boring day in the reality day?
I think it comes down to what people buy into in your content. So I never wanted people to buy into the luxury items or me traveling. Like I wanted them to buy into me so that I could make content from anywhere. For example, when I was in Australia, I was there for 6 months. There wasn't anything too crazy and we were still getting views. People were still watching the content. Also, I have just so much content that I can post content from Italy and you know, it still use it, right? Because it's just got so many shots. But I do think, it makes it more interesting, but you also don't want people to just buy into the lifestyle, because then you've got to consistently live this lifestyle that sometimes you don't want to be living, or you don't want to always be doing that.
Yeah. And then for the technicalities of it, say for example, we're to go down the personal branding, getting a videographer, does that have to start off as a different channel? Like for example, Hormozy or I don't know, Iman has his Iman business and Iman personal or lifestyle.
Yeah, Iman extended.
Yeah, exactly. So do you see that being two different channels, two different personalities, two different identities, or putting it in the same thing?
Yeah, I think it comes down to how much you post. I see Iman, he obviously built up his main channel and he would just post everything on there. Same with my account, like I just post everything. I was thinking about doing a second channel, but I'm like, I may as well just put it all in the same place. And then I think as you start to grow, it's something where you're like, okay, I've got the team. I want to push out one business piece of content. I also want to push out a vlog a week. I'll split it up. But it also comes down to your followers, right, as well. So a lot of my followers are entrepreneurs, so it all kind of ties in together. Whereas Iman was probably say he made a business channel, he'd probably only have the business guys follow that. And then he has just like everyone following his main channel.
Yeah. So do you see yourself then eventually splitting it off into business channel separate, or?
At the moment, I'm not too sure. Depends on like what type of content I want to make. If I really want to go into like giving value on, you know, say networking and traveling as an entrepreneur, I think my next step is to build the Only Earned YouTube channel. So we want to, when we have the filmmaker out, we want to build that into its own channel and have people buy into the brand and show a bit more behind the scenes of us building, but not specific to me, like show my business partner, show like our appointment setter, our closer, even the filmmaker, and like show the whole team of us actually building what we're doing. And then when we go on trips, have all the members as their own characters, and people are like actually getting to see what's going on rather than it just from my perspective.
So kind of like Nick saying sort of what he's doing with his team. I'm not sure if you watch much of his content.
I haven't seen much of, I have seen some of his like consulting content, which is good. But yeah, I would say I can't really relate it, but yeah.
Do you try and follow trends then, or do you just do you the whole time? Like if you see that someone else's format is working, for example, in short form, would you copy them, or are you just trying to just do your own stuff?
It depends. Like I feel like it comes to the point where just everyone's almost done everything, and it's like you just have to get inspiration. But I'll never just like I've literally seen people copy my things for like the exact, and you can tell. I never want you to be able to tell that I've copied someone's idea. So maybe I'll get inspiration and I'll change things to it. I'll make it my own, but I never want it to be like, if you put them side by side, you can instantly tell that they're like, okay, this guy's literally just going bar for bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pattern interrupt.
Pattern interrupt. 7-6, 7-6. No worries.
Yeah, I'm curious for the Only Earned guys. So you can. So the offer wise for them, what is the biggest, highest ROI for members of Only Earned? Is it the fact that they get into a network of other entrepreneurs? Do the Only Earned members do business within each other? Like, what's the biggest thing?
Yeah,
for them?
it's the sky's the ceiling. Like you can literally do whatever you want to do. It comes down to how good, I guess, a networker you are and like what you're looking for. Yeah. We have a pretty extensive onboarding process. So we actually understand, okay, this is what business they're running, how much money they're making, their biggest bottleneck, who they're looking to meet. I probably know someone in my network. My business partner, he's in sales. He knows pretty much everyone on the sales side of things. So when they come in, we can really tailor the experience to them, because it is it's not like a niche thing. Like we'll build a sales system for you, right? It's like you join a network and there's so many different ways you can go. So it's just understanding what they're looking to achieve from the community and then tailoring their experience inside Only Earn so that they can essentially achieve their goals. But a lot of the times we found most guys are wanting to travel. So we're just finding, okay, what events can they come to, putting their names down for the events, sometimes tailoring the dates and stuff like that so it makes sense for them. It just comes down to what they're looking for. But there's always opportunities, new things getting posted inside the community for people to basically scale the business, whether they're looking for an ads agency or we have a new appointment setter that they can use, whatever it is.
Yeah. So, and with your content, so we spoke a bit earlier about using AI, for example, try and hit more people within the ICP. Like, because I remember I wasn't quite sure on your offer originally. Like I had watched a few of your YouTube videos. I wasn't quite sure what you actually offered. I thought maybe it was like a course, and I was like, oh, of course, maybe on content creation. Then I looked into it, obviously, and then I understood. Yeah. But like content wise, where is your main sort of acquisition channel? Like, are you trying to convert people from your main YouTube?
I would say pretty much everyone that has worked with me or joined Only Earn has seen my YouTube. So they always watch the YouTube. It's really hard to track from YouTube unless you have like a form in the description. We just send everyone back to Instagram and they reach out through Instagram. But also the goal was and the goal still is, like, it was never to just sell from my Instagram and only make content to make money. You know, I wanted to document the journey, wanted to inspire people. And so all of my content is not necessarily always geared towards how can I get this person to convert. You know, it's just showing them what I'm building, inspiring them, showing them this is the lessons I learned so I can give them value and they don't necessarily make the same mistakes that I have. But yeah, I would say a lot of people, YouTube is definitely like the strongest platform. It is as a long-term goal, I would definitely want to focus more on YouTube than short form and just do YouTube and maybe just post carousels or have a shorts account on Instagram and not actually post like consistently like I am on Instagram now. Yeah. Just because I think YouTube's the most powerful platform.
And funnel wise, is it normally people would discover your content on Instagram, then check out the YouTube and then go back to Instagram to reach out to you? Or is it really a mix, finding on YouTube and then converting through Instagram?
Yeah, it's a mix. It's hard to track unless we specifically ask them like, what was your journey? But a lot of the people will reach out to me on Instagram. They've either seen my YouTube or they haven't. If they haven't seen it, we usually send them some videos so they can see what the trips look like, who's inside the community, what we're actually building, and they get a way better idea. So most people, like by the time they join, they've seen some type of long form content. They actually understand, okay, this is what he's doing. They can pretty much come on a trip, because that's what we do with the vlogs, is like try bring them on a trip through YouTube.
Yeah. And you were mentioning about the concierge. So you're rolling that up now.
Yeah.
What exactly is it? What does it do?
Yeah, so this is something I wish I had, because there was months where I was spending like 40, 50K in Europe with a filmmaker on just traveling, like getting Airbnbs, buying dinners, just literally everything. And now that we have the concierge, it's essentially a way for entrepreneurs to save money on literally everything: events, watches, cars, flights, hotels, villas, whatever it is, they can essentially save money. The way it works is the concierge company has really good relationships with hotels, really good relationships with villas, airlines. So you just basically request, hey, I'm looking to go to Dubai for 7 days. I need, accommodation. I need a chauffeur. I want to book a couple restaurants. And then they'll basically go and book everything for you. You give them a budget, and then they'll send you a payment link, and they'll be like, you saved this much money.
Yeah. No, I see the pain in that. I definitely see the value. And that's something we need as well. Like, for example, coming to Bali, we had no idea.
Yeah.
Anything. We thought Uluwatu was where the place to be is. And we spent like a month there checking it with Nusa Dua and stuff. And then coming here to Canggu is like that. Yeah. That click. Everyone's here. Everyone's locked in. Everyone's doing something big down here. That's pretty.
Yeah, and like I found entrepreneurs also don't really care that much. Like if maybe you have a girlfriend, she like really cares about all the planning and what you're doing. We're just like, as long as I can work and I can show up, like, can you just book it all for me? So yeah, it's essentially like a lot of people think it costs more money, but you're actually just saving money. So we saved like 5K US this month.
Damn. Okay. Personally.
Yeah. On the villa.
Damn. Okay. That's And then for the concierge, is it applicable to Bali? Have you? Got them to actually do stuff here?
So they know people in Bali, but we also have a couple contacts ourselves inside Bali.
Yeah.
So it just depends what you're looking for. I've specifically got a villa guy that basically gets it for 30% cheaper than Airbnb, just because Airbnb have like crazy fees that they add on. They also take money off the owner and like all these like legal things that they have to add in. So just by knowing people and knowing certain contacts, you can get villas for way cheaper.
Yeah. And then here in Bali, for example, what's the reason that you're coming back from Aussie and now you're going to go to Dubai, Euro summer, I assume, same with us. What's sort of been the benefits of coming here in Bali? What's your experience so far?
I think in Australia, like everyone always says it's the tall poppy syndrome, where it's like you almost get looked down on for like trying to do something different or being weird or like whipping my camera out. Like I'm past that fear, so I don't care. I'll do it in Australia. But so many people will not bring a camera out in public and just start vlogging, because like everyone will just look at you like, what is this guy doing? Whereas in Bali, it's so normal. So I think it's just being surrounded by other people that are building businesses. You find that everyone is so focused on their own business, their own content, doing their own thing, that they don't even have time to care what you're doing. So I could really be myself and do what I want to do. But then also for the business side of things, you just feel like you have so much more ambition when you're here. It's a lot more convenient. You can literally order everything to your house and live in a pretty cool place.
Yeah. And at the moment you're living with your business partner?
Yeah. So I'm living with my business partner, his friend, and we've actually got one of our members that's staying with us as well.
That's it.
How did you find your business partner? Yeah. And what was his background? Because I don't think I've met him before.
No, yeah. So he used to be a closer, and then he moved into managing sales teams. So that's when I met him back in July. He actually reached out to me for content. So I was helping him with content, and we were just traveling in, I think, Rome, and he was in Greece, and he's like, oh, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we're in Rome. Do you want to come? And he's like, yeah. So he flew out, and then we ended up staying with each other for like, 6 months after that, because we just got along super well. And we did a trip to Marbella. We got a house, and when we were there, he started meeting all the people that I knew. So I brought a couple of my friends, a couple of creators like Marcel and stuff like that. And he started to understand like, fuck, there's so much value in like traveling and meeting other entrepreneurs, and saw how much he was just leveling up as a person. And that's when our idea kind of came for Only Earn. We're like, fuck, we should do something about this. Like, how can we bring this to more entrepreneurs that are making money, but they don't necessarily have a personal brand. They don't know a lot of people. They can't just go and travel. They don't really have anyone to just go and travel with. So, yeah.
No, so
what's the relationship? What does he take care of? What's your dynamic?
So when it started, it was a bit of like, okay, let's just like bootstrap this and like get it off the ground. But now he's mainly managing the sales and operations side of things. So just managing all of the sales team, making sure that everything's working properly, all the automations and just all the operations of actually scaling the business. Mm-hmm. And then I just focus on the marketing and building the product. So focusing on like, how can we build a better product? How can we provide more value to the actual ICP that we're chasing? And then also, just content every single day. Like every day I wake up, it's just like, okay, how can we post content today?
Yeah.
And you guys are super exclusive with the people you let in. Like, is there an income threshold? Is there?
Yeah, it's usually like we won't take in anyone that's making less than like 20 to 30K a month, just because a lot of the trips, they won't probably be able to come on and they won't really align too much with the guys in there because they are just kind of starting out. And it's one of the reasons why we launched the concierge as well, just to make sure we can best help everyone. But I would say most people are usually making more than 20 to 30K a month.
Yeah.
And who's some of those crazy stories you've got in the community?
Oh, we have a lot of guys that they don't have personal brands. Some of them do. We have a couple of big guys with personal brands, but like I was saying, we have a guy that does Pokemon card trading. No one would know who he is. Private account, and he makes like 900K a month just from trading Pokemon cards, and I think he's like 21. So you have crazy people that you come across, and again, it's just all from content, just getting to meet these guys. And then for him, he's just like, I want to travel, I want to do cool stuff, I want it all to be taken care of and not have to worry too much about where we're traveling to, which is a big thing when we're running these trips, is like making it as seamless as possible. They basically just get their flight, show up, and we kind of take care of everything else for them.
Do you ever like consult? Sorry, I've done it 3 times now. Do you ever like consult on them building a personal brand? Then do you like really try and push it hard to the members to build a personal brand? Yeah,
well, obviously because I have such a strong background in content, I always bring a filmmaker to the trip, and he's not there just for me; he's there for everyone. So he films, takes photos, super high quality photos, super high quality content. And at the end of the trip, we color grade all of it and upload every single day. Pretty much everyone has like the content to make their own vlogs, their own Instagram. We noticed like the members starting to use the content we were filming, and like their accounts started blowing up because we're all using the same content. And then, like that's the whole power of community, right? Like I think Finn, when we were in Japan, like he was just like, oh, can you like watch my YouTube video and give me advice? And I was like, yeah, of course. So like so many little things that happen when you're just living with other guys that are all building their own businesses. They all have their own, they've probably spent like 2-3 years learning a skill, and you can just ask them basically like, how do I solve this problem?
And for the guys in the group, I'm curious, asking for us basically, with more B2B clients, if they have agencies and they work with more corporate based people, do you see them doing more lifestyle kind of content, personal brand stuff? I asked sort of for us to see if it would move the needle.
Yeah, it depends. Like, I think with the B2B content, a lot of guys notice that they just do super educational. They usually run ads, and it's obviously a harder market to kind of target, but you see how guys are doing it, like Nick Setting and all these people, how they're really targeting the B2B people. But I would say a lot of guys also, they'll just make a personal brand because they just want to like document the journey and show what they're building, and not necessarily be like, I need to get more clients off this. Obviously, so many doors start to open once you start to build the personal brand. Like, I think the biggest thing for us was just hiring talent. Like, we've had to hire, I think, 2 people in the last 2 months, and I just put up stories and I'd get over 100 applications of really high quality talent and people we can work with. And they also understand what I'm building. They've seen the vision, they've watched all the content. So you're not jumping on call and like trying to explain what you're doing. They like already understand. So there's so many like different ways that people can leverage a personal brand without actually just the monetary side of things and having to make money directly from it.
Yeah. It was more from editors or for closers, setters? Like, what kind of team members? I'm guessing you attract a lot of editors who they use.
Yeah, literally everything. Like, because there's entrepreneurs as well. Appointment setters will follow me, high ticket closers, editors, filmmakers. We hired an assistant. Her name's Eileen. She's used to be a high ticket closer, but now she's moving more into like wanting to be just a part of something bigger and help us build the vision. So she's helping with like event planning, managing everything. So there's just, you can literally get talent from everywhere. And if I don't know someone that follows me always recommends someone. So they'll be like, oh bro, hit this person up. Or for example, we went to Dubai. I was like, going to Dubai, we want to rent some cars. Does anyone know anyone? And I had like 5 guys hit me up and send me their contacts, and that was like 20% cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only own guys as well probably help you a lot for talent. And,
Like we have essentially talent acquisition inside Only Earned as well. So if they need anyone, I just tell them, ask me. I can chuck up a story for you, or I probably just know someone. So I'll just send you the right person.
No, that's actually one of the biggest pain points. Like, how do you attract really good operators for what we're doing at the moment? And you need to have that background. And you're not finding that person on online jobs or some random Upwork or somewhere.
Yeah.
You're like someone that's had that experience, and then how do you get those A players?
Yeah.
And then all of the personal brand work before completely is worth it. The ROI is paid off 10 times fold once you get that really good person.
And like most people that you work with, you want them obviously bought into the vision. Like that's the main thing. Otherwise, if they're just there for the money, like they'll just leave when they get a better offer or when they get skilled enough to go and do their own thing. So if you find people that are actually genuinely bought into what you're doing, they're going to stick around. They're going to put the extra mile in, and you just find that the talent is like a lot more bought into what you're actually building, and they're not just, looking to make money.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me. So what was that journey from you in the beginning to then where you are right now? Even before your agency, when you were 19, you finished school, to go to uni. What was the process?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like up until I was 18, I had zero aspiration to be successful. Like I don't know. I think when you grow up in Australia, a lot of the time it's like you just think that, oh, you have to be like lucky or born into it, or it's not possible. Like you just think it's not possible, and you can't even comprehend that you could achieve something like that. And I remember I was finishing high school and I was like, should I go to uni? Nah, I'll just go and do construction. So that's what most people do in Australia. It's called like a tradie. So I became a carpenter. So I was like building houses basically, but I was a first year, which means it was my very first year in. So I was just like digging holes and like pouring cement and just doing the worst possible jobs. I think I was making like $400 a week. Like I was making no money, and it was, I'm so happy I did that because it allowed me to be in a position where I was like, okay, I have to do something now. Like this sucks so much that I need to make a change. Like most people did, I stumbled across Iman Gadzhi and I just saw the life he was living. I saw what he was doing and I really bought into his values, and I was like, fuck, I want to do this. And he was like the person to like rewire my mindset and be like, okay, you can actually achieve stuff. Like you don't have to be someone special. Like anyone can do this. And then I quit my job after a year and just went all in and never looked back.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 minute. I come in. Okay.
Okay. Good. Another pattern interrupt.
Yeah. The editor's gonna love this, bro.
We can keep that in. This. Yeah. What a fucking weird podcast experience.
I can hear someone knocking on the door.
Yeah. They got this like security and crazy thing outside where it's like you scans your face and if you're allowed in, it opens it up. But it doesn't work. So it was supposed to work for us and just didn't let us in. So
systems.
Yeah, they need SOPs in place. They need
You need the AI OS.
Claude's not going to do that for you. You have those FX3 cameras?
My filmmaker does. I use a ZV-E1 because it's a lot more friendly for
that's the same as me.
Yeah.
So you got, and then you like technical into what lenses to use and.
Yes, but for what I'm filming, it's always me filming like myself when I have my camera. So I don't need a whole bunch of lenses. I think all I have is a 16 to 35 mil lens, and that gets the wide angle for the vlogging, and then I can also zoom in and do cinematic shots. If I have a filmmaker, then like they usually have like 24 to 70 and like a lot more lenses. But for an entrepreneur just filming his life, like I've literally shot probably like 80% of my content on this one lens and camera for the last year.
Damn. Yeah. So it's not about equipment.
No,
it's about,
well, it's the same sensor, an FX3 and a ZV-E1, so it looks the same. So my filmmaker, a lot of the time, he has a full FX3, like crazy setup, and he would just take my ZV-E1 because it's lighter, and he's like, it's just easier. It's going to look the same. And so he'd prefer to use that.
I can, the ROI is definitely there. And then also, what's the full flow? So you film the content, upload it, color grade it, and then edit it, and then post it. Any complexities?
Not really. I think one thing is not like uploading 1,000 clips. Like everyone will like you don't want to color grade it individually and like upload 1,000 clips. So I'll just film everything in a day and then put it all on a timeline. color grade all the clips, cut out all the ones I don't want, and then upload like a 50-minute color graded clip of, for example, day one. Yeah. And then just upload that rather than filming all the clips, uploading them all raw. Like it just takes too long and the files are really big. So that's literally the only thing. It's just color grading, exporting, and uploading.
Would you say it's better to film more than necessary, or it's actually just a few videos?
I mean, if you're just starting out, like, yeah, definitely film a lot. For me, I understand now, like from working with my YouTube editor, and like this is why it's really good to work with the same people for a long time, because I know what they're going to use, I know what they're not going to use. So a lot of the time I'd spend time like filming all these different shots and all this content. I was like, I know he's not going to use it, so now I just film exactly what I know he's going to use, and then I can just upload that, and he still will just like cut out so much stuff.
Yeah, okay. No, because I remember we were trying to actually, we had a videographer back in London who was filming us, and when I was trying to get B-roll for him, I was like taking tons and tons of content of like every leaf of the tree or something. And like realized it's just more efficient to just take a few things and not worry too much about it. It's like literally this guy had to spend weeks sifting through the content.
Yeah. And yeah. It's not worth it. Like I think the main thing is I just always keep in mind that, okay, for example, this camera, all they can see is this. Yeah. And so if that's the only angle I have, like they don't know what any of this room looks like. They don't know what outside looks like. So just being able to make sure that you get enough shots to tell the story and they can feel like they were there. Yeah. But yeah, not going overkill and like filming this, like the same shot once. Like I'll just usually shoot an establishing shot of just like where I am, and then that's it. Just like film anything else.
I imagine the film or the videographer's doing the technical stuff, but also yourself, you like think, oh, I need to get wide, middle, close up, and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it does become second nature after a while. So you you just have to think like a filmmaker. Like it's really hard to explain. That's why when you get a filmmaker, like ask him questions and learn off him so that you know how to film the content. But I thought I knew how to film, and then I saw how he was filming and like the white balance and what ISO he shot at and all these little things, getting an ND filter. And now I think like him, and I can just like literally exist and bring the camera, and I'll get the right shots.
Yeah. Hundreds, because that's the thing we were speaking about earlier, like get good talent and then learn from that. Like
literally,
like Hormozy says, hire an agency and then learn, copy everything, and then hire the in-house team, which does better than them. Yeah, and that's exactly what we just need, that good talent. And there's a lot of mediocre. Yeah, how's that really like the S players? Yeah, that's kind of
like I would recommend for you guys is just to get a filmmaker that it's not realistic that he's going to be able to edit everything and film everything and color grade everything. It will be maybe at the start for a month, but eventually you want him to manage the editors. But you literally just get a filmmaker that films, comes up with the ideas, gets all the shots that you need, and then you have a team of editors.
And how much is that roughly a month?
Just depends. Like if they're bought into the vision, for example, my filmmaker, I don't know what he saw. Like I had 3K followers back then, but he was like, I want to build this with you. And I just paid for his expenses. So he got to travel the world for free. He was 18 from Spain. And yeah, I covered the editing costs. He actually used to edit to begin with and wouldn't charge anymore. And then he's like, bro, like I can't edit a video every single day for you and film. Like we need someone else. I was like, sweet. So I started paying an editor that he got, and he just worked with the editor directly. And yeah, it won't cost much. Like for my content right now, I spend about 2.5K USD a month on 4 YouTube videos and like 16 reels.
That's it.
Yeah. And then obviously film everything myself.
Yeah. And then the ROI is like infinite.
That's like,
yeah. And also like I've literally worked with the same people for a year. So like that loyalty's there, and they, I could find cheaper people and I could go for a cheaper price, but they just know exactly what I need, and I'd have to spend more time myself and spend less money. It's like, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, how did you find the Spanish guy? And does he still work with you?
No, we're still good friends. He's like leveled up so much and he's doing crazy things. So like I want him to come and travel with me, but he still loves filming, but he's like kind of made it to that next point, which is hard with filmmakers as well, as you show them the world and they come and travel with you, and then they start to be like, fuck, I can do this myself as well. Because that's what I did. Yeah. So I did the exact same thing as him. I used to be a filmmaker, so I didn't blame him at all. I respected it, but yeah, he's like, I think he's just traveling around. He was in like Vegas the other day. It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you move around with your team? Like we spoke about Jeremy Haynes earlier. He says that he moves around like an aircraft carrier. He just has this whole team that goes with him everywhere he goes.
I would love to, but I would say the only important person is the filmmaker. And yeah, most of the people, like the appointment setters, the closers, the girl that's helping us with events, she's not really traveling with us. I think it would be good to have her in person for some of the events because she's basically booking everything, managing it all, reaching out to restaurants, reaching out to sponsors to come and like sponsor the events and stuff like that. So having her there would be good so that we don't have to deal with everything when we're there. But no, mainly just the content guy and obviously my business partner.
And sellers, closers, like they just do their own thing.
Yeah, they're in Australia time zone. One of the guys actually in Bali right now, so that works out. The other guy's in Australia, so it's fine.
Yeah. So what are the main things then? Let's talk about your business and scaling early earned and everything. I know obviously you're not just thinking about selling, but like just want to give value. But like where are you guys at right now? What are you working on the most to build the company?
I think everything is like we've pretty much dialed in everything on the business side of things. Like it's basically a numbers game for us, just getting more qualified leads, like more 50K per month business owners. So that's really the main thing is obviously the marketing side of thing. Like how can we get more qualified people through? Because pretty much everything is optimized, like all the numbers that we're hitting and all the, I guess like percentages and everything is like makes sense. It's just like we need more leads if we want to achieve a certain goal. So that's kind of where we're at. And then also like the possibilities of a network and of an entrepreneur's community is like literally endless. Like obviously we have the concierge, but then there's so many different partnerships and stuff that we could do, running different events, running dinners. We've got a tax guy. We've just got literally everyone, and there's so many different ways to make money, and also so many ways for our members to make money. So it's like also staying focused and not like spreading ourselves too thin, but there is endless opportunities to essentially monetize from what we're building. And as the community grows, it will only continue to grow.
So is there any bottlenecks at the moment with what you're doing to grow Only Earned?
Yeah, I would say just leads, like getting really qualified leads. And it is hard with the content. We had some troubles with our ad account as well, so not always working to our favor. But yeah, the biggest bottleneck is definitely just the content. That's why I'm getting the filmmaker out, so he can basically be with me and we can just push out a lot of volume, but also like make the right type of content, build up the Only Earned brand. I also don't want people to join Only Earned because of me and like who I am. I want them to join the brand because they see the members, they see who's inside. I consider myself a member, same my business partner. So I don't want them being like, I want to join Kwong's community. Like they want to join Only Earned. So building the brand up on Only Earned as well. It is something where we are building enterprise value. So we also understand that like it's not necessarily going to scale as quick as maybe some other coaching offers, but as time goes on, like it'll be I'll have a lot more longevity.
Yeah.
When you say enterprise value, like what do you mean by that? Do you mean just value? Is there like, do you guys make money somewhere else on another side of the chain, or is it just from people coming into the group? Is there other?
Yeah, it's more just like people coming into the group, obviously having the concierge, like there's so many different features, and as the community starts to grow and people are joining for an annual membership and recurring every single year.
So there's an MR or
yeah. So it will continue to grow. And then also like I guarantee brands and stuff will start wanting to sponsor our events. And like, as we start to grow, there's just so many different ways. We want to eventually step into e-com and like build, some of our own clothes and stuff like that. So there's so many different routes we can go with it. Whereas let's say I was doing like a sales coaching offer and I was teaching people sales, like there's only really so far you can go with like actually teaching sales. And if you wanted to, everyone was buying from me because they knew I was really good at sales. It's like, it's kind of hard to like sell that to someone else if you ever wanted to in the future. Whereas if we build up the brand Only Earned and actually, exactly.
And what's the sort of process of exiting a community-based business?
No idea.
Yeah.
It's something that we'll figure out along the way. It's one of the big reasons why I'm obviously moving over to Dubai near the end of the year. But for now, like our main goal is just like, how can we build this brand? I look at brands like Represent 247, like that's the type of brand I want to build. I want it to be recognized worldwide. And I also don't want, everyone likes the brand 247. They're not going, oh, George Heaton, like that's his brand, so I'm going to follow 247. Like they obviously follow his story and what he's building, but they're all bought into the brand.
You're going to be aesthetic, no?
Yeah.
You're going to go down into the e-com apparel route. Yeah.
Eventually, I think that's another good thing about the community is we have a lot of guys in ecom doing, 7-8 figures. So we can just get all the tools we need. We have a guy that's actually spent a lot of time in China and has all the manufacturers, and it's going to be a lot easier to just like start these new business models and like go down these different pathways, because we just ask anyone in the community like, yo, this is what we want to do.
Do you sort of see brand ambassadors as well, like getting Daniel Dallin on board, or Vince, or like different names from around the ecom or even the entrepreneurial space? Do you see them getting in and then being like the
Well, that's a big thing we want to do is starting to do more partnerships, helping people, maybe sponsoring other people's events, having our brand out there with, say, you guys, if you're running a mastermind, like we can come out and actually sponsor the event, and just tying our name to other big people in the industry and actually like collaborating with them and doing partnerships with them.
I see, yeah. Interesting. And then what do you see? Like, okay, events would be pretty cool. Ecom would be pretty cool. Like, what's those crazy things, those crazy ideas which you can see in 5 years?
Oh, there's so many different things. Like, airline, like we could have our own villas.
Private jet, concierge.
There's the trips, like we haven't really, like, we've barely scratched the surface of like to what type of trips we can run.
Yeah.
And the types of things we can do. And especially now having the concierge, like they handle a lot of high profile people. So like people that play in Liverpool, like the British Premier League, like really high level people. So the sky's kind of the limit as to what trips we can do. And I'm excited to see what the future looks like.
Really interesting. And going back to then, because this is where the pattern interrupts happened earlier, for the construction going into building only earned, after you start discovering Iman's content, then what was the agency that you were building out before?
It was a TikTok agency. So we pretty much like managed the social media for, we started doing everyone, like we were just like, we'll help everyone with content. But then we really found our niche with nightlife businesses. So we pretty much worked with every club in Sydney, and we were just going out and filming, helping them grow on TikTok and Instagram, and like making super viral content. Like I've generated way more views for Sydney nightlife than I have for my own personal brand. But that was like kind of the agency. It was just like, we had no idea what we were doing. We literally saw, like, we had the same skill set, me and my business partner back then, and we were like just splitting everything 50-50. Like no one was focusing on like different things, and we were doing all the work, all the fulfillment ourselves. Like we just had no idea what we were doing, but we just brute forced our way somehow to 30K a month back then.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then what, just TikTok promoting the clubs and then just getting traffic, and then they'll get you a commission, or they'll pay you up front?
We just get them on monthly retainers. So we had people paying anywhere from like 2.5K to 7K a month. And it was like, restaurants as well. So we found, and I still do this to this day, is like using TikTok as a search engine compared to Google. Like a lot of people go on Google. I way rather be like, okay, what's the best podcast studio in Bali? And then seeing people's reviews on TikTok and seeing where it is, and like it's a lot more authentic. Yeah. And so that's what we're trying to do for nightclubs, is like, and restaurants. Like, how can people search, okay, best restaurant in Sydney, and then our content shows up at the top rather than them searching on Google. And it would also cost a lot more money to do on Google.
And then you're also going down the TikTok route for only earned?
Not so much, because I found, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really use TikTok. Like,
I've never been.
Not a lot of business owners use TikTok, and like it's a very doom scrollable platform. So there's no real intention there now, mainly just YouTube for only earned, and building the brand on Instagram.
And what was that shift? So you said watching Iman's content, but was there like a deeper desire, I want to build something big, or is there
I don't know. Change? Like back then I documented a lot of it back then as well. Like I was too scared to post any of it, but I filmed it all on the camera. It was almost like a diary. And it was just, a lot of it was just like seeing the life he was living. And I was like, fuck, I just want to do that. Like that was the first real shift to me, was just like, just being able to do what Iman does. And I remember it was him just like with a bunch of girls in Cape Town. Like obviously as time went on, I was like, I don't want that at all. But like, that's what I really wanted back then. And it pushed me enough to make a change. And then you just kind of start to find your way. And I think I was literally watching Iman when he had 10K subscribers back then. Like he was very new. No one really knew about him. And then I just watched him grow. And eventually like I came to the point where I stopped watching his content, because I was like kind of past that dreamer phase, and I was more into like actually business owners and started watching Hermosi.
Yeah, I remember him actually when I was at this party in the UK, and the girl he was Amara, right?
Yeah.
I remember knowing her or knowing someone who knew her, and then she was speaking with him, and he was doing like these videos, and everyone was like, oh, this guy's getting 50 views, like back in the day in London. And so interesting to be like 5 years later, oh, that's that guy, and like how it's compounded and how it's grown so much. So it's crazy to see how a bit of